Good afternoon and welcome to the instructional video for the 2016 Swift Rio 310. I'm going to walk you around the outside of the vehicle first and then I'll walk it on the inside. So we're based on a Fiat 2.3 130, has the manually folded in mirrors that then electrically operate top and bottom. Into the cab area here we've got the window controls, mirror controls, and we've also fitted with the Remy's cab blinds which pins together and then magnetising at the end just there. The one in the middle at the front closes together on both sides and then clips back in place. To clip it back in place, generally just help it and guide it nice and easy and clip it back in. Underneath the driver's seat is where you will find the leisure battery, so this is where this is located. Just clips on just like so. You have some fuses for the Fiat side of it just there, and then you've got your handbrake. Behind that we've got the exhaust, and then clearly marked on the outside of the vehicle we've got our freshwater drain which comes out of here, done with a switch inside, and then the wastewater drain. On this particular wastewater drain the previous owner has fitted a manual valve, so you'll need to empty it just using that. So that's for the wastewater and the fresh water. Above that we've got fresh water. So this is a 12 volt fitting, so you can remove the cap just like so, and you can buy your specialised pump that will pump the water from a carrier directly into the freshwater tank, which is here. You just undo that using your key and just fill it up with the fresh water, making sure you close the freshwater drain. Once you've done that and it's full, it will just overflow out of there to the outside of the vehicle. Behind that we've got the truma vent, so this does get warm and hot, so just be careful. Please don't touch it, put anything on it. And then we've got the fridge vents, so top and bottom fridge vents. Behind that we've got the electrical mains cable point, so this is electric into the vehicle, so just plug that in. And then behind that we've got the gas locker. It's clearly marked LPG. In here you've got a regulator, need the bottles attaching to it, and then just a pigtail to whichever propane or butane that you're going to use. Just nicely close that there, and then these just lock using the key, so these will just press in place using the key to twist and turn, and then it will become rigid and won't push in. So that one is open, that one is locked. Behind that we've got the toilet area, so this is where you'll find your toilet cassette. So you lift up the handle, slide the unit out. Now in here you've got the blade valve, and it will only come out once the blade valve is closed, and I'll show you that on the video when we get inside. You've got a vacuum button that will allow the whatever's in the toilet cassette to flow freely. We've got the cap which you unscrew to allow you to empty it, the little spout that needs turning so that when you tip it upside down it will empty, your handle, and then the wheels to pull it to and from. When you've finished with it and you've cleaned it, slide it back in and it should just nice and easily sit in, and the toilet cassette should go over these two little cutouts there. Once you've finished doing that, just close that up and again lock that in place for your onward journey. We've got a protector bar on the back, we've got the full bike rack and a reversing camera high up. On this side it's fitted with the Fiamma awning, so I'll send a separate video of how to use that. We've got an awning light above it. We've got the carpets in here and the makeup cushion and an external locker, again using the one key to gain access to it. We've got the habitation door, which on your remote control keys you can either do that manually or you can use the bottom button here. So when you lock it, it will lock it all. The top one will just do the cab and the bottom one will do the habitation door. Yeah. In front of that we've got the diesel filler point, and in here we will find the bonnet release catch, Under there is where you'll find your engine battery, and under this seat is where you'll find your toolkit. The seats adjust backrest wise by just turning the dial up and down by pulling the flaps out there, and you've got your armrests that are there that will just flip down for your onward travels. Passenger airbag, and you've got a storage area just in there. Cup holders, lower down, and the bonnet release catch on the outer side of the door. To lift up the bonnet, you'll usually find this underneath, above the actual manufacturer's symbol. So there's a little yellow lever there, and on here you will find your negative point just there, labelled, and under a little cap underneath here is where you will find your positive point. You've got your oil and your dipstick, and we've got your screen wash just there. On closing it, just gently close it down, and that will close that area off completely. So that's a good look around the outside of the vehicle. Let's move on inside. To open the door, pull it gently towards you. I always put my thumb just at the top and just gently with 2 fingers just pull it towards you there. On here we've got a bin and a blind, and we've also got a fly screen. So the main controls are all found above the habitation door area. So that's here. You've got your awning pole, which is just clipped on there, and you've got your centre rafter just at the side of it here. So that's to go inside and brace it. You've got your freshwater drain. So you press it up to stop it releasing, press it down so it will release. To turn the power on to the vehicle, you press that. And then if you press that, you'll hear it retracting. The manual, the waste one, like I said, is just a manual one. So you just want to have that down. It hasn't got the auto valve on it. It's just got the manual one. A lot of people found it easy doing that one manually. And then you've just got a light switch here, which lights up and turns on them ambient lights around the top. On the power side of it, we've got lights, the ambient lighting, so the lower down lighting, so under the cupboards, and then we've got a water pump. So only turn your water pump on once you've got water into the fresh water tank and you've pulled it through your boiler. So you'll need to put that on first to prime it through the boiler. Come to the tap, remove the cover, turn the pump to the red section and turn it on. Now one thing you must remember is to close the valve for the pump. I'm going to show you where that is now. So underneath the bench seat on the driver's side, you will find housed here is your boiler. You've also got your pump and your filter. And the thing that you must close is this yellow little toggle valve. If you don't, you'll simply run the water from your fresh water through the tank, through the boiler and out. So you've got to close that. So just lie it down flat, and that will allow the boiler to fill up with water. Yeah, if you don't, what you'll hear water. If you're on a hard standing, you'll hear water coming out. When you come to go away, or you want to drive on and you want to empty it, or you want to winterize it, just lift it up. And that will empty the water out of the boiler and protect the boiler. So that there is your boiler drain valve. That can be located just under the seat here. And it's always advisable to remove the cushions before you're lifting them up. Yeah. Now with those, once you've done that, like I say, you can then, once you've got a steady stream coming through on your hot side, turn that off. That will then have filled up your boiler. It is advisable to do that in the bathroom area as well. So on this tap here, and again on your shower tap, all clearly marked, so that you don't get any airlocks in the system. Once you've done that, come to the control panel to the left hand side. And when you're either hooked up to mains or you've got your gas on, and do that first before you turn this on, you'll want to come to your control panel here. And your 4 main functions at the top. The first one being the temperature in the vehicle. So you turn the dial to the desired temperature, press it, and that will set it to that temperature. It will flash if it's not up to temperature. If I turn it down a little bit here, you'll see that it probably will stop in a minute when I select it. And that means that it's up to temperature. So you see it now? It's up to temperature because it's reading your temperature from the thermostat here. It will stop flashing. The next option is your water heater. So you can either have it off if you don't want any water in. Eco, which is 40 degrees. Hot, which is 60 degrees. You've also got a third element, which is boost. And what that does is takes all the power away from the hot water, from the heating, to get the hot water up to temperature as quick as possible. Whenever you change the dial, it will change the setting above the line, and that's the setting that you're going to use. So in this instance, I don't want it on because I know I've not got any water in. The next function along is how you're going to heat the water or the actual heating of the vehicle. EL1 being 1 kilowatt electric, EL2 being 2 kilowatt electric, Mix 2 being gas and 2 kilowatt electric, Mix 1 being gas and 1 kilowatt electric, or gas only. So when you've decided what you want, just select it and it'll change above the line above again. The next option along is your fan speed. So press that. You can either have it on eco, which is low, high, which is fast. And once the fan's kicked in and it's run for a few minutes, you can then go to the boost function on that as well. That will get the temperature in the vehicle up to temperature as quick as possible, but it will not heat your hot water. So you can only have the boost on one or the other, either on the heating or on the hot water. You have an indicator to tell us that we're plugged into mains just here. And if you turn it around, the bottom elements are timer functions, clock functions and setting functions. I'd get the fundamentals first in your head before you come onto these. When you've finished doing that and you want to turn it off, press and hold it and it will tell you that it's off. Then make sure you turn it off before you turn off the gas and you unplug the electric. And make sure that you don't turn it on until your gas is on and your electric is plugged in. It will stop with any warning triangles on the display. On your main control panel, you'll also see that there's a mains plug point here to tell us that we're hooked up to mains. If you use the little buttons along, it will then talk you through what options you've got. So it always tells you at the bottom, so battery selections, tank heater off, tank heater on. If you want to go into it, then you just press the button and it generally does change the options. So you're just going up and down and looking at the different functions that are available. To get back out of it, you can just press it and set it and go down. Yeah, to go back out of it, just press that and it will go out of it. Yeah, so this is your main control panel. There's a lot of complex bits on here, but again, the fundamentals are your light switches, your pump, and your different level options. So solar charging, battery selections, tank heaters. Your freshwater and your wastewater will display in a column either side here, where it says, if I hold it there nice and still, fresh and waste. So fresh on this side, waste on that side. When you start filling it up, it will come up and show you what is in there. Yeah. To lock the door from the inside, you just press that little button here and that will lock inside. To release it, press it once and press it again and that will open it up. Yeah. Pull the handle to close it. We've got another couple of light switches lower down here as well. So you can press them and they'll do the different lights. Plug socket just here. Extender piece. You'll just need to lift up there. To put it down, you'll need to lift up both of those. And then that will sit it straight back down again. In the kitchen area, we've got three gas rings and an electric ring. On the front of here, it displays each one. Again, electric being the back one, so that you can decide which one you want to do. Yeah, so just turn it. The grill is this one. So you've got a low and a high setting. Just leave that open when you're doing it. And then you've got your oven setting, which is for the bottom oven area, just here. To the right of that, we've got storage compartments and plugs. Another storage compartment under there. And again, some more storage down at the bottom. Make sure you press these in before you travel on. Again, in here, we've got some more space underneath your sink. One thing to heed on here is the notice on the top of the actual glass top. Make sure that you let it cool down before you do close it. Clip that in place before you move on. Underneath here, you'll find there's a mains plug, and that's for the microwave up at the top. So just plug that in if you want to use it, just in the plug socket, just there. Yeah. You got again a bit of storage in there. Well, we're on the lower level. Underneath this compartment here, we've got gas isolation valves, and it does tell you which way they should be and what they're for just on here. Yeah. Then make sure that that's clipped in place before you then travel on. Above, we've got your microwave. So just press that. One good point is just remove that before you're traveling on. Stop any noises or additional noises. We've got your socket just here. Sorry, your socket for your microwave is here. The lower down one is for the electric element on the oven. Apologies for that. And at the side, we've got the solar charger. So when it's flashing like that, it's putting charge into the leisure battery. To close the roof lights, pop it over the little handle there. To pull it closed, you'll pull it down, and you've got a couple of little avenues that it can slide into. Make sure when you're driving off, it is above the little noggin there, and we've got blinds and fly screens on that. Same in the middle one here, and the front one is an opening one, so you've got your winding handle there, and then your release handles here. Yeah, we've got the blind and the fly screen on here. So gently away. We've got some storage compartments. We've got light switches, so little reading lights. Power sockets for the aerial, and mains 12 volts. TV bracket just located there. Storage above. And again, just make sure you clip them back in. The lights turn off just underneath, just there. The windows all have fly screens and blinds on them. So just nice and easy, just there. To open them up, press the button. So press the button in all of them. And then you gently open it up and it will hold it in place. All the way up to come all the way back down, and just make sure that it's clipped securely in place before your onward travel. Above the fridge, we've got another storage compartment, and the fridge itself will open towards the back. You've got your controllers above. So to turn it on, you press and hold that button to the left, and it will illuminate, and it will also light up. You've got 4 main options: mains electric, gas. Now if the gas doesn't light, you'll have to reset it using the button here. 12 volt. Now this will always alarm like it is doing at the minute because the engine's not running. That only works when the engine's running. And the last option being automatic. And when I press this, you'll see that it's automatically gone on to electric. That's because we're plugged into mains now. So that's the strongest source currently. We've got the temperature setting from the warmest to the coolest. We've got the freezer compartment and then the fridge compartment just there. When you finish using it, press and hold it, and it will turn the unit off. Close it, just close the door through like that. In here, we've got the pole, which will be placed into the center area here. So you just remove the cap on the floor, place that in, and then your table, the round table, will sit onto that. You've got your freestanding table, which is just housed in there. And we've got the aerial with the booster bar there. So when that light's on, the aerial's going to work. To move the aerial up and down, you just release the collar and then lift it up. Set it to the right place by tuning your telly in, and then lock it in place. Just make sure you bring it down before you're moving on, so you don't have it in a higher position on the roof. That is how your picnic table will look in place. And then that's how your longer, larger table will look in place. Below the wardrobe area, you've got your main control panel. Now there's a little sticker below telling you what the various fuses are, the breakers. So you can revert to that. This is where you'll find all your fuses. On this side you've got your main breakers, including your test button, which is this little button here, yellow. So if you press it, it should flick down just as it has there, and then flip back up to do it. You've also got an isolator, so make sure that that's plugged in for your hot water and your heater, and the same for the charger. If they're not in, it won't charge the vehicle and it won't heat the hot water. You've got a main master shut off valve, so when you press that, everything will go off. Press it again and it will reboot it. Sometimes it does go into a sleep mode on these Sargent systems, so you can press that in and out and it will reboot the vehicle into life. So just a little pointer to have. Into the bathroom area, we've got little hooks here that allow us to gain access to the storage unit at the back. There's a light switch below, but again you must have your power on, so let's just go back and turn the power on. Again, with us turning it off, it will have turned the power off, so just click that on, and then you've got your lights in that area. Lock in place, lock in place. Press the button to open the rear storage area. You've got a hanging rail just there. Below that we've got the toilet. So at the beginning of the vehicle I mentioned about the blade valve. This is the little grey valve here on the outside. So this opens and closes the blade valve in the toilet. The blade valve being the top here. So if you slide it towards the back of the vehicle, it will open the valve. Slide it towards the front, it will close it. It's got to be in the closed position for you to be able to move the toilet cassette. And that is that little lever on the front of the toilet. Here we've got the flush button, and next to it is the actual indicator to tell you the toilet is getting full. Under the sink, we've got some storage space again. And we've got the heater vents that you can open and close to circulate the heating around the vehicle in different places, just lower down there. You've also got them around the vehicle to this side, and just here to just circulate the heating around depending on where you want it to be. In here you've got a turnbuckle on your door just at the top, so make sure that's in transit before you're going and driving off. And we've got a ventilating opening roof light here, so just squeeze it together, lift it up either at the front or the back, clip it back in place before you then move on. Bed area. To make the bed area up, I'll always advise you to do it with the cushions off, because you'll find it easier doing it that way and it causes less strain to the actual base, and I'll show you in a few steps now. Now the first step is to remove the cushions. The second step is to lift and pull and extend it out on both sides. That will then give you your base of the frame. We'll also need to lift up this section for the smaller infill, and then you put the cushions back in the form that I show you now. So just like that. Most people turn the cushions round, but that should formulate the bed. If you want to make it a little bit easier to get out, then you can remove the two cushions here, and then just by lifting the flaps on this particular area, then you can have it as sort of a French style bed if you want to do it that way. Have it with a little cut off to give you access in and out of the bed area. And then we're back up and usable for that day conditions. We've got the reversing camera screen just here. We've got the 6-speed manual gearbox, cruise control, speed limiter, lights and indicators, windscreen wipers just on there. We've got the cab air con. We've got a lock button that will lock all the doors, and then we've got the cup holder and the phone or tablet holder, which you just pull back, pull the handle down at the side, and that will allow you to put it just in there. The radio is just here, and it does have Bluetooth functionality on it. And then that concludes the instructional video. Under this panel here, you have access to your water tank. So if you want to gain access, then that's what's underneath that panel there. On exiting the vehicle, just press the button off. That will turn all the power on. Hold the door, exit out, and then that will allow you to then lock the vehicle using your remote central locking button or your manual key. But that concludes the instructional handover video for the Swift Rio 310. Hope you enjoy it. Please subscribe and like our YouTube channel. But most importantly, we hope you enjoy your new motorhome. Thank you.